Imagine standing where ancient samurai once walked, then stepping into tomorrow's world within a single day. Picture yourself soaking in mountain hot springs as snow falls silently around you, before dining at a restaurant where robots serve sushi. This is Japan, a land where impossible dreams become reality, where tradition dances with the future, and where every corner holds a story waiting to be discovered. Today, we're taking you on an extraordinary journey to 25 places so breathtaking, they'll change the way you see Japan forever. From hidden temples untouched by time to neon-lit cities that never sleep, we're revealing locations that most tourists never find. At Savvy Travel with Abby, we're about to show you why Japan isn't just a destination, it's an experience that will transform you. These aren't just tourist spots, they're gateways to adventures you'll remember for a lifetime. Get ready to meditate with Buddhist monks in ancient mountain temples, discover a hidden beach that glows blue at night, learn why one Japanese island has the longest living people on Earth, find out which secret garden inspired Japan's most famous anime films, and that's just the beginning. By the way, have you subscribed to the channel so you don't miss our videos when they come out? Quickly do so now before you forget. Ready to discover the real Japan? Let's go! 25. Tokyo's Koishikawa Korakuen. Let me take you to one of Tokyo's best-kept secrets. Right in the heart of the concrete jungle lies Koishikawa Korakuen, a slice of paradise that most tourists walk right past. This isn't just another pretty garden. It's one of Japan's oldest and most perfectly preserved landscape gardens. Here's an insider tip. Come at 7 a.m. when the gates first open. You'll catch local elders practicing Tai Chi by the pond. And if you're lucky, you might spot herons fishing in the morning mist. Every step here tells a story, those winding paths. They were designed in the 1600s to show you a new view at every turn. But if you really want to see something magical, visit in late November. The maple trees here put on a show that'll make you forget you're in the world's biggest city. Trust me, sitting on that wooden bridge while red and gold leaves float by, it's pure magic. Insider tips: go on weekdays to avoid local crowds. 24. Uji's Tea Paradise. Just a quick train ride from Kyoto, Uji is where Japan's tea obsession began. Imagine rolling hills covered in tea bushes as far as you can see. But we're not just here to look, you can actually join in on tea picking. And yes, they'll teach you how to do it without destroying the precious leaves. Now, this is where it gets really special. See that traditional wooden house? It's a 400-year-old tea house where you can experience a real tea ceremony. Don't worry about the formal rules. The tea masters here love teaching visitors, and they'll guide you through every step with a smile. Insider tips: book tea experiences in advance, they fill up fast. 23. Kamakochi Alpine Valley. Okay, this next spot is going to blow your mind. Kamakochi is what happens when the Japanese Alps decide to show off. We're talking snow-capped peaks reflecting in crystal-clear rivers, wooden bridges stretching across emerald waters, and some of the cleanest air you'll ever breathe. Here's a secret: head to Kappa Bridge at sunrise. While everyone's still sleeping, you'll have the place almost to yourself. The morning light hitting those mountains, that's the kind of view that makes photographers cry tears of joy. Insider tips: the place is closed in winter. The best time to visit is between June and October. 22. Kanazawa's geisha districts. Ever wanted to step back in time? Kanazawa's geisha districts are about as close as you can get. Unlike Kyoto's super crowded Gion, these streets still feel authentic. When dusk falls and the lanterns light up, you might catch glimpses of actual geisha hurrying to their evening appointments. But here's the really cool part: you can actually stay in a converted samurai residence. These places have been lovingly restored so you get modern comforts while sleeping under centuries-old wooden beams. And those garden views? They're exactly what the samurai would have seen hundreds of years ago. Insider tips: night walking tours show you the best spots. 21. Ancient temples of Nara. Before Kyoto was cool, Nara was Japan's capital. And boy, did they build some impressive stuff! The Tadaiji Temple here houses a Buddha statue so massive, you'll feel like an ant standing next to it. And get this, the current building is only 2/3 the size of the original. But the real stars of Nara are the deer. These guys are considered sacred messengers of the gods, and they roam freely through the park. Pro tip: buy some deer crackers, bow to them, yes, they bow back, and make some new four-legged friends. Just watch out for your map. They'll eat that too. Insider tips. Early morning means fewer tourists, calmer deer. 20. Shirakawago's snow magic. When people say winter wonderland, this is what they mean. Shirakawago's massive thatched roof houses look like they're straight out of a fairy tale. These distinctive gasho-style farmhouses were built to withstand heavy snow with their 60-degree thatched roofs. But what's really mind-blowing? People still live in these 250-year-old homes. Here's something special. Visit during the Winter Light-Up Festival that's between January and February. These traditional houses glow like paper lanterns against the snow, creating a scene so magical it barely looks real. But trust me, it is. Most visitors miss the opportunity to stay overnight in these traditional houses. Book your stay through the village office for an authentic experience of rural Japanese life. Insider tips. Book Shirakawago Light-Up Festival accommodations 6 months ahead. 19. Naoshima Art Island. Imagine taking a ferry through crystal-clear waters to islands where art and nature become one. Welcome to Naoshima and Tashima, where modern art museums emerge from hillsides and centuries-old houses transform into art installations. It was a remote island now transformed into a world-class art destination. The must-visit Chichu Art Museum is built mostly underground to preserve the island's natural landscape. Don't miss the iconic yellow pumpkin at the pier, but the real hidden gem is Art House Project in Hanmura. 6 traditional houses converted into contemporary art installations. In these museums, you don't just look at art, you experience it. Walk through rooms where light becomes music, where water dances across floors, and where the building itself is part of the artwork. Insider tips. Purchase a 3-day Art Island pass for best value. 18. Yakushima's ancient forest home to Japan's oldest living trees, including the 7,000-year-old Jomonsugi. If trees could tell stories, Yakushimas would write epic novels. This island's cedar forests inspired the Studio Ghibli's Princess Mononoke, and when you're standing next to trees over 7,000 years old, you'll understand why. The best hiking route is the Shiratani Unsuikyo Trail, a 4-hour trek that inspired the forests in Princess Mononoke. Visit between March and May for ideal hiking weather, but pack waterproof gear. The lesser-known Wilson Stump Trail offers a more challenging but crowd-free alternative. They call this place the Island of Water because it rains 35 days a month. And yes, that math is weird, but it makes sense when you're here. The constant mist creates an otherworldly atmosphere where moss covers everything and every branch drips with life. Insider tips. Start Yakushima hikes early before 8 a.m. to avoid afternoon rain. And make sure you waterproof everything you have. I mean everything. 17. Kurashiki's historic canal district. Picture Venice, but make it Japanese. Kurashiki's white-walled storehouses and weeping willows reflecting in the canal take you straight back to the Edo period. But unlike many historic districts, this one's still alive with local life. Visit the Ohara Museum, Japan's first private Western art museum, which houses works by El Greco and Monet. The former rice warehouses now contain traditional craft workshops where you can try indigo dyeing and tatami making. Visit between 7-9 a.m. to photograph the canals before tour groups arrive. Duck into any of these converted storehouses and you might find an artisan weaving traditional textiles or a tiny cafe serving matcha in centuries-old pottery. This isn't a museum. It's a living, breathing piece of history. Insider tips. Download the Kurashiki Historical Area app for free walking tours. Wow, are these places not breathtaking? Have you been to any of these places? If yes, do share with us your experience in the comments. If not, where has captured your heart so far? Respond in the comments below. Wait, we are not done yet. We still have more to share with you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing and off-the-beaten-path destinations. Let's continue. 16. Mount Aso's volcanic wonderland ready to stand on the edge of one of the world's largest volcanic calders? Mount Aso is a titan among volcanoes, with a crater so big you could fit entire cities inside it. On clear days, you can watch the turquoise crater lake steam and bubble. The crater trolley runs only when volcanic gas levels are safe. Check conditions before visiting. The surrounding Kusasenri Plain provides horse riding opportunities with volcano views. But here's what most people miss: the vast grasslands surrounding the volcano. Every spring, local farmers conduct controlled burns that create one of Japan's most spectacular shows. Rivers of fire flowing down mountainsides at night. So, time your visit for October to witness the dramatic grass-burning festival. Insider tips. Check Mount Aso's volcanic activity level on official website. 15. Onomichi's Temple. Imagine a hillside path connecting 25 ancient temples, each with its own story, its own secrets. That's Onomichi. This seaside town's temple walk isn't just a hiking trail, it's a journey through time. Start at Jikoji Temple and end at Senkoji for the best route. The real highlight is the Path of Literature featuring 25 stones inscribed with famous poems about Onomichi. Visit the newly restored Kosanji Temple with its marble memorial garden, a hidden architectural marvel. The Shimanami Kaido cycling route starts here, making it an ideal base for cycling enthusiasts. Pro tip: time your walk to reach Senkoji Temple at sunset. The view of the Seto Inland Sea with its bridges stretching into infinity, temple bells ringing in the distance. It's the kind of moment that stays with you forever. Insider tip: get the temple walk map from Onomichi Station's tourist office. 14. Kenroku-en Garden Through the Seasons, one of Japan's 3 great gardens, designed using 6 essential garden features: spaciousness, seclusion, artifice, antiquity, waterways, and panoramas. They say it took 2 centuries to perfect Kenroku-en, and when you see how the garden changes with each season, you'll understand why. The famous 2-legged Kotoji lantern is best photographed in early morning light. Visit during the Plum Blossom Festival in February or the chrysanthemum displays in October. The garden's unique snow protection ropes, yukitsuri, are installed from November to March, creating stunning geometric patterns. But the real magic, the hidden meanings everywhere. Those curved paths? They're designed to slow you down, to make you notice details like the way water sounds different falling on different types of stones. Insider tip: visit Kenroku-en at opening 7 a.m. to avoid tour groups. 13. The snow monsters of Zao. Ever seen trees transform into monsters? At Mount Zao, nature performs this magic trick every winter. When snow and ice blast the evergreen trees, they create these towering snow monsters, or juhyo, that look like frozen giants guarding the mountain. Here's something most tourists miss: the night illumination. When colored lights hit these snow monsters, it's like stepping into another planet. Take the ropeway up at sunset, then watch as these ice creatures come alive in the dark. Insider tips: visit in peak winter, January-February, for the best monster formations. 12. Ina's floating village. Imagine houses that seem to float on water. That's In for you, a fishing village where traditional Funaya boathouses stand on stilts right over the sea. These 2-story wonders have boats parked on the first floor and living spaces above. Take a sunset boat tour through the bay, and you'll see why locals call this the Venice of Japan. But unlike Venice, this place still feels undiscovered. Watch fishermen return with their catch, and if you're lucky, get invited into a funaya for fresh seafood dinner. Insider tips: stay in a converted funaya guest house for the full experience. 11. Takachiho Gorge. Get ready for one of Japan's most dramatic landscapes. Takachiho Gorge looks like something out of Avatar. Volcanic basalt columns rising 100 meters high create a natural cathedral with the Manai waterfall as its centerpiece. Here's what you need to do: rent a boat at dawn. As you row through the gorge, morning mist swirling around you, you'll understand why the Japanese believed this was where their gods descended to earth. Insider tips: book the first boat rental slot, 7:30 a.m., for the best light and fewest crowds. 10. The Blue Pond of Biei. This isn't photoshopped. The Blue Pond of Biei really is this color. Created accidentally during volcanic erosion control, this pond's otherworldly blue comes from natural minerals, and it changes color throughout the day. But here's the secret most visitors miss: come in winter. When the pond partially freezes, you get this incredible contrast of electric blue water against pure white snow. It's like nature's own abstract art installation. Insider tips: visit just after sunrise or before sunset for the most intense blue colors. 9. Koyasan's Sacred Night. Welcome to Japan's most sacred mountain. Koyasan isn't just a temple. It's an entire temple town with 117 temples, where you can actually stay overnight in Buddhist lodgings called shukubo. But the real magic happens at night. Okanoin Cemetery, with its 200,000 tombstones and ancient cedar trees, becomes something otherworldly. Walking through the lantern-lit paths past moss-covered stones, you'll feel like you've stepped through time itself. Insider tips: join the morning prayer ceremony. Starts at 6 a.m. for an unforgettable experience. 8. Kabira Bay's hidden paradise on Ishigaki Island lies Kabira Bay. Think the Maldives with a Japanese twist. Those swirling patterns of turquoise and cobalt blue, that's natural art created by coral reefs and shifting sands. While swimming isn't allowed, they cultivate black pearls here. Take a glass-bottom boat tour. Watch tropical fish dart between coral gardens, and if you're lucky, spot sea turtles gliding beneath your feet. Insider tips: time your visit between tides for the most vivid watercolors. 7. Gunkanjima Ghost Island. Picture this: a completely abandoned island that looks like a battleship rising from the sea. That's Gunkanjima, or Battleship Island. Once the most densely populated place on Earth, it's now a haunting reminder of Japan's industrial past. These concrete apartments, once home to thousands of coal miners, now stand empty. But look closely. You can still see signs of the life that once filled these streets. And yes, it might look familiar. It inspired the villain's lair in James Bond's Skyfall. Insider tips: book tours well in advance. They often cancel due to weather. 6. Hitachi Seaside Park's Flower Paradise. Imagine 4.5 million baby blue flowers creating an ocean on land. That's Hitachi Seaside Park in spring. But this park doesn't do just one season. It transforms completely throughout the year. Spring brings blue nemophila, summer explodes with green kokia, and in autumn those same bushes turn crimson red. It's like nature's own color-changing art installation. Insider tips: check the flower calendar online. Each variety blooms for just a few weeks. 5. Totori's Desert Adventure. Yes, you read that right. There's a desert in Japan. The Totori sand dunes stretch for 16 kilometers along the coast, creating a landscape that feels more like the Sahara than Japan. Try sandboarding down the dunes, or better yet, take a camel ride at sunset. But here's a pro tip: visit after rain, when the dunes create natural art with their ripple patterns. Insider tips: arrive early to catch the morning light and avoid hot midday sand. 4. The Fox Village of Miyagi. In Japanese folklore, foxes are magical creatures. At Zhao Fox Village, you'll start believing it too. Imagine walking through a forest where over 100 fluffy foxes roam freely, their red fur flashing between trees. Watch them play in the snow during winter, or nap under cherry blossoms in spring. But remember, these aren't pets. They're wild animals living their best life in this magical sanctuary. Insider tips: visit during winter for the most active foxes and best photos. 3. Hashima's Hidden Waterfalls. Deep in the mountains of Gifu lies one of Japan's best-kept secrets, the triple waterfalls of Hashima. These 3 parallel waterfalls, each with its own personality, create a natural symphony in the forest. Visit at sunrise when mist rises from the falls, creating rainbow prisms in the morning light. In autumn, the surrounding maple trees turn the scene into nature's perfect painting. Insider tips: the 40-minute hike to the falls is steep but worth every step. 2. The Fire Festival of Nachi. Once a year on July 14th, one of Japan's most spectacular festivals unfolds. 12 massive torches, each weighing 50 kilos, are carried down 133 stone steps against the backdrop of Nachi Falls, Japan's tallest waterfall. The sight of these giant flames against the sacred water Fe creates a moment where ancient spirituality meets raw natural power. This isn't just a festival. It's a 1700-year-old ritual that still takes your breath away. Insider tips: book accommodation a year in advance for this popular festival. 1. The Snow Corridor of Tateyama. And finally, we've reached our #1 spot, the Snow Corridor of Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route. Imagine driving through walls of snow 20 meters high. This isn't just a road. It's nature's own art gallery, carved through a canyon of snow. But this isn't just about snow. You're actually crossing the northern Alps of Japan, passing by pristine lakes, volcanic valleys, and some of the most spectacular mountain scenery in Asia. The best part? You can walk between these towering snow walls, touch them, feel their immensity. It's the perfect finale to our journey. a reminder that Japan never stops surprising you, no matter how many times you visit. Insider tips. The snow corridor is typically open from mid-April to mid-June. If you visit Japan in the winter, you might need to visit and experience Japan's enchanting winter hot springs. Join us in the next video as we dive into the heart of Japan's best onsen experiences. From famous gems like Ginzan and Kusatsu to hidden treasures nestled in snow-covered mountains,